So sorry, one more time. What is the number before the two red charges? Capital.
So, real quick, the reason I'm asking this is because we've never had a murder or terrorism case aside from Ember Quinn, and she got 30,000 or some shit. So, and that was before the debtor's law thing came in. So I'm trying to get like a vibe here.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Zolo, for example, is getting the most charges without the hut stuff, and he's looking at $212,527.
So are you asking? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
So are we trying to figure out right now? You want the vibe for each individual, terrorism and murder, or you want a vibe for both combined?
I want them all to get charged the same fine at the end of the day, because aside from possessions and hot gun charges, they're all getting the same stuff. So I want to know, like right now, I'm saying I want 750 per person across the board. So okay. I'm seeing what everybody else thinks they should be getting, or like what they think would be a good idea.
I think that's good, personally.
I'll retract my million for murder. Seems right for it. 750 for both terrorism and murder. Everyone plays. Yeah, in the range of 750 to $1 million sounds about right.
Yeah, and then having 750 plus possessions, which will make it $1 million.
No, it
would be 750. So you're doing 250 per.
No, so the way that I'm doing it is I am adding up all their fines for all of their charges per person, and I am taking out the hut charges completely, right? And then I take that full fine, and then I subtract it from 750,000, and that would be the hut charge fines.
I guess I feel like we should. Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just asking. You're wanting to net it. You're wanting to net it at 750K. Like you want the net. The net to be 750K.
I feel like that's a different conversation. I honestly feel like what is appropriate for this case versus setting a precedent for what we think murder and terrorism going forward should be is kind of two different conversations.
Well, that's why I'm asking for this case. I'm not asking for going forward.
Okay, got it.
God damn it. Hang on.
It's 5 a shadow. Thank you for the 6 months.
What's the next high? What's the highest fine currently for a standard charge?
There you go.
Was it that stockpiling?
I think it was stockpiling. I think it
might be government robbery.
How much is that one?
No, not robbery. Never mind. Was it the possession?
Stockpiling is 156,000.
Okay. What's 2.5 times that? What's that?
Well, the criminal possession of a government-issued firearm is lowered as well, only 93K.
That's like 350 to 400.
Stockpiling is going to be the higher charge.
I think stockpiling is the highest. Yeah.
I'm like 90% sure.
If you thought of something like murder as 2.5 times our current highest, that would be like 350, 400, and then you add that with terrorism and stuff, a total of 750. Kind of makes sense.
So, I guess my question is everyone's charges without the HUD charges around the same amount?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So everyone's charges before adding up the HUD charges, like just the fines for the possessions and such, are they all around the same amount?
This is the highest total, right?
Yeah, it's a range between 212 and 180.
Okay.
Yeah, I just realized we have the same glasses.
I agree with you. I agree with 750K.
Was that on purpose? I've always had these sunglasses.
Here, this should be.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you push for 750, the worst that happens is that it gets walked down to a lower fine. But I think you're in the right criteria for 750 to start.
I like the look too.
Yeah, this is what it's looking like. So like, Zolo and Peanut get the most because they have hot guns. Kay gets the second most because he has government shit on him, and then Rami, Vinny, and Taco had their guns were clean, but they still committed the crimes. So, and then like everything on the right side is just the difference to 750K. That's all it is. So I'm trying to get like I said, I'm not like trying to find a precedent. I'm trying to get like a vibe of like too little, too much, what people think would be a good idea, bad idea, all that kind of stuff.
I like it.
So would that 750
mean-
be both murder and terrorism?
Yes, it would be
or...
both the hut charges.
Okay.
Their entire fine at the end of the day, if they're found guilty of everything, would be 750K.
Question? Is murder and terrorism like decided by the officer?
I think maybe I'm crazy here. I do think it's a little high.
Too
Like
high.
it was what they did was pretty bad, like overwhelmingly horrible. But I don't know. It just I don't understand the things I want to understand well enough to really be able to put a finger on it. But I just feel like it's a little high.
So I also want to point out that an idea that crossed my mind while I was making it 750K was giving them it's a little high, I do agree, but I made it that high so they have the idea to plead down, so they can like plead guilty, and I'll say, okay, 5 years, 500K for everything, point blank period.
And
like,
I think it also does give the DOJ wiggle room to reduce the charge,
like, to go down or up or whatever.
if
Yeah.
they
Yeah, I'm
determine.
sure
Because
they're not
remember,
gonna be
we
charged
this is
750K.
this is just us bringing it forward, and the judge will then determine what it should be, right?
Yeah,
This
the
is
judge
just a
isn't-
suggestion, right?
Yeah,
The judge
this
isn't
is
going to go harsher than what you asked for, though, would they?
I mean, it's up to
No,
the
I don't
judge,
think so.
right?
I-
At the end
Never
of the
seen
day.
a judge do that.
I've never
At the
seen
end of
a
the day, the
go
judge
above.
can push whatever they want. If they feel we went too little, then it's possible, but that doesn't mean they will.
Yeah, fines are a recommendation. They're not like a set in stone.
Yeah, these are the fucking, what's it called at the bottom of a posting? I fucking forgot the word.
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
I don't know.
The more I
Sentencing,
think about it,
this-
comparatively,
Go ahead.
Five years is
6
5
grand.
days.
It's crazy. It's.
You can't
yeah,
really
so
compare the attempted murder charges though with
Yeah.
the current
I don't
situation,
know.
the way the
I don't
city
know
is,
why they even did what they did
yeah.
though. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah, I understand that it's still.
like that was something so high risk.
It's just it's tricky.
Like they
It's-
weren't gonna get
it's
away with
weird to
that. I mean,
workshop it, but
kind
I get
of
what you're
maybe, but like
I think going at 750 is okay because
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
think it gives a ballpark as to an idea of like this is
it was just
a
too
very
high
bad
risk.
situation that needs to be recognized as being something that shouldn't be happening often and should be a deterrent for one, but it does give the judge more wiggle room to go down from it, and they don't have to think about pushing up from 750.
Yes.
I mean, I could always make it like 1.5 mil, and then it'd like just be like, okay, well that's more than likely not going to happen, but it would either give them more reason to plead guilty or have a judge do it or whatever. But I don't want to. We don't have any legislation or in our constitution saying don't like.
it is a
no
very memorable
extreme bails or fines or whatever. But I don't like the idea of pushing insane amounts of fines and times even on cases like this.
Yeah.
How much time would they be getting? For this
I'm looking.
kind of thing?
I'm going to request 10 years in, 10 years out. Or well, days, years, whatever.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Requesting it, and then yeah, like you said, they can. That gives it room for them to play down.
I think 750 is a good point for them for an opportunity to plead. Yeah.
Yeah, with our legal system, it is simply just, they have
Trial
the
and error.
ability. Well, it's trial and error, but one, because this is the first terrorism case and first murder of a government employee case that I'm aware of.
Well, there was another terrorism case before, but that I don't think was successful.
Oh, with
It
Bobby
was,
Charles, yeah.
Bobby Charles and Timo.
But this is gonna be like, this is the first one to this level that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Trying to get a vibe of like what people feel is good or bad.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like maybe 500 total is more of what I was thinking, maybe.
So
Or
the
just
issue,
if-
right, is that like I looked at all the other cases that required docket postings and whatnot. Obviously, the one first degree murder, and then the rest of them were like drug trafficking. But the highest was 30K. So I'm trying to work around with what I have here.
I think we're forgetting that, like, we might be not forgetting, but if we look at that 212 or whatever, that's like 25 counts of attempted on a government plus a bunch of other crazy charges. That's a lot. It's like a lot of fucking charges to get to that 212. And so one or two charges to be double that of like a 25 count or something is where it gets a little lost in the sauce.
Can I ask a question?
This is murder and
I mean,
terrorism.
it's murder and terrorism.
No, don't get me wrong. I understand, but it's like 25 counts of that, 3 attempts second degree. That is also murder of a government employee. Oh, no, wait, that doesn't have a thing. A criminal possession, 17 grand. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like 25 charges.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting a little visually lost.
Hang on.
Can I ask a question? I mean, you're aware that like Mr. K owns 2 different properties, right?
I was gonna say that.
When we talked about undue, excessive fines or punishment, these are not poor people. This is the cost of doing business.
So we should seize the house, is what you're saying.
I'm not gonna go for somebody's property unless it's for bail or it's for they use it in the crime or something.
We should charge the rich more.
Tax the rich.
I think that's also the problem kind of bringing it is like I don't have a concept of the economics of a rich person.
Yeah,
I think
that's why I think that your recommendation is much.
I think you're also
that's entirely
possible. To attempted murder charges and murder charges being equivalent when they are vastly different with the nature of the city.
Yeah, I get that.
I also want to bring up the DSC, like, because obviously, I'm assuming all these people probably go into debt once the fines are processed. If they do get the 750,000, right? DSC can adjust fines. Or like not fines, but like their debt in prison.
They can help relieve their debt as time goes on. Yeah.
Oh.
At least that's my understanding.
I'll add this to the conversation too. Declan reached a plea deal with someone for a drug trafficking case and got $75,000 fine in a plea deal. So that's
the one I looked at.
Case, but yeah,
that's one of the ones I looked at.
I'm just trying to give us a more ballpark figurines. If it's $75K for a plea deal, then I would assume that would be double that for putting.
Chad, I'm very, very tired, Chad.
250K is not far stretch for terrorism. And
Chad, I'm very sleepy.
Both of them or one of them?
For one of them, we'll run each. 250K for one each.
So do it just 500.
I don't. I think the fines are too much.
You have it pretty accurate how you have. I like how you have it because it's just rounding everything up. But that's just the ballpark that I see. And like I said, drug trafficking is I would assume would be 150K. Double that for a plea deal or double from that plea deal. So I think it's accurate. I think 250K is accurate.
I do also think that
you think 250
the severity of all the other charges on top of the attempted murder and terrorism should play into the fact that this is a big situation that needs a big punishment.
So wait, Dixie, you were saying 250 from the hut charges? Is what you would put?
So drug trafficking is 150K. I'm referencing that based on Declan had a drug trafficking plea deal for 75K. I'd say if we put it to the docket, then it would be 150K. It is 6009. 6009. So I'm saying murder and terrorism is kind of higher than drug trafficking, as it is a violence against persons case. So 250K is reasonable for me, and that how it is right now.
Oh, like 250 each is close enough. Okay.
I think also it's good to look at like that 750K is on top, right? So in a situation in which something like this happened in a lesser situation where there wasn't 24 people shot down and guns and all sorts of other charges on top of it, that's 250K each, right? For murder and terrorism is 500K, roughly, ballpark, right? Or is my math off?
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know enough about like the damn economics of shit. So
yeah, me neither. I honestly I would love to.
Learn,
how many people?
I mean, Chief Justice Crane probably has a better idea.
4,000 an hour, someone said.
I don't think that the fines are wrong. I do feel like they should all be a flat amount, regardless of how much they're being fined for possession and such.
So that way they're all the same amount per person.
I think
that's okay. I agree.
Because
like I think the rounding up is the best.
If I was a judge looking at that, I'd be like, why are these people getting charged different amounts for the same time?
Yeah, that also crossed my mind.
Even if the like definitive end like their total is different.
I feel like what they did was like, really bad, like insane. Like, it's far and away the worst crime in 4.0.
I mean, I'm fine with like 500K across the board for everybody, and then like 250 per.
Yeah.
Actually, what? Siobhan, you're rich, right?
I think.
Well,
I think it should be,
we were
but
looking for
like.
an insight into, you know, someone of a better, you know, economic status than ourselves, and so I thought I'd ask.
I'm asset rich. I'm cash poor. Like I'm house poor. Does that make sense? Like I'm paying off loans.
How much do their homes
She's
cost?
comfortable.
I owe Alan Crane $110,000.
I would say 500K 5
She couldn't pay
years.
the electric bill like 2 weeks ago.
Don't tell me.
Ooh.
She's not rich.
Or 503 or
adopted daughter,
505. That's what I think.
Okay, yeah, she doesn't sound rich.
I was hoping that we could keep that between us and
Well, you can
not
pay
tell
it now.
everybody how we were
Turgo, that's
gathered
very
around the
insightful.
fire.
No, you can pay it now. It was just then, but it now is fine.
Rich people,
Okay.
they're just like us.
What you said it should be like 750 10 years.
The original idea was 10 years in, 10 years out, 750. They would likely get time served.
See, I think it should be like. I mean, I have, like I said, I have no concept, no idea, anything whatsoever. But my gut tells me something more like 500 in 5 days is better.
That's the plea deal arrangement.
Okay.
That's what I want them to plea to.
Okay.
I'm making it high, so a plea deal seems more enticing. That's,
How
that's the goal.
Okay.
How many days have they're going in prison?
Out Furious!
Today is the end of day 2.
Thank you for the 100 gifted.
It would just be today.
100 gifted subs from Out Furious. Thank you so much,
also
dude.
asset rich and cash poor.
Thanks a ton,
does that
man.
mean they also could potentially be in debtor's prison for an insane amount of time?
There's a chance that's again, that's why I wasn't going insane with the amount, like 1.5 or whatever the fuck. Because there is a chance that they'll get debtor's prison. I don't know what their, you know, economic status is or anything.
Amazing
like
present.
that,
Thank you for being you. Thanks to you. Thanks, Out Furious.
I don't know if I can even legally ask for that, like from a judge.
Right.
So
They could sell their assets in order to pay the fees. No.
Well, no, yeah, they could. They could sell their assets if they don't want to be in debt and stuff like that. That's perfectly viable.
Does the state rebuy real estate, for example? Or is that somewhere you have to find a buyer?
I don't think anybody said that, Mr. Flynn.
Megan?
Would you have to find a buyer from prison? Or
Yeah, they
just
would have
like...
to, they'd have to find a buy. They have to find somebody to buy their properties.
Okay.
I thought the state rebought them too.
So.
I think for half.
might be able to
right?
afford
if
a
they
house.
sell it. Get half back or something like that. I don't know.
So I have a question.
Okay, have an answer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If they're on a hut, are the days that they've been spending on a hut discounted from their total years in prison?
Normally yes, but depends on the judge.
Okay. Okay.
The judge
So if
will
they
decide if
have
there's
2
time
and then
served or not.
5, it'll be like, let's say 503. Okay. I'm just kind of working it out like out loud in my head. I guess
that is if I put the case docket.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because we need a date for the trial.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah,
They're
like
likely gonna request
503 is a
eligibility
lot
to go
better
for a
than
plea deal. I already told
750
their lawyer that I
10.
would be open to plea deals, so we'll see if that happens.
So what's the time to dollar ratio for debtor's prison?
I don't know. I've been told 15 different things. I don't know.
Javon, do you know?
Sorry, what?
Dollar to time ratio for debtor's prison?
I am unaware of what the dollar to time ratio is.
Gotta ask you.
I have not delved into it.
I just feel like when we're talking about like
I was given numbers on that recently for somebody, but I just don't have them right now at this time. If I was fresher in my day, I would probably be able to have them for you. I will hunt them down.
then
and get back
CG
to
vote
you.
against Cornwood. That doesn't.
I would appreciate
that. Doesn't change how I feel about like
coming to
how things should be.
too, so
Right. Like I'm not like
yeah,
vindictive
I mean,
about it.
I don't mind making it 250 per charge, and then
I just
adding the like the possessions and the base charges up to it, and then just going from
Yeah.
there. That way, at least there's like some kind of uniformity across.
They did easily the worst crime of 4.0 so far,
okay.
which
well, I appreciate the
doesn't
input,
really
appreciate the
mean
feedback.
anything except for the fact that
like I
it
said,
does
this
make
is
sense for this to be the biggest like
a fairly
charge. They had like 20 times attempted murder of a government
what to
employee,
do with it.
which is crazy. And then one first
I completely forgot about it.
one first degree murder of a government employee.
Talk about comments, concerns, questions.
And if the Aziz stuff gets linked back to Chain Gang, then that they're gonna have another murder of a government employee. They also did the most stupid crime of 4.0. I don't know what they were. I don't understand what the goal is. Maybe we'll find out someday.
Hi, it's me again.
But like that was a giga high risk situation,
So,
like way too high risk.
if we could all look at our watches and
Corn
notice
trying to
the
be rational,
time,
Wesley.
it is past midnight in the Pacific Coast.
The best time.
Yeah,
The best
which-
time.
Absolutely.
Watch your mouth.
There is also a very special day today.
You can only work off 3K debt per hour in prison. Did they reduce it again?
Happy birthday!
Oh, we're all gonna say happy birthday.
Oh, I already did.
All right, happy
All
birthday.
together right now. Happy birthday, Siobhan.
Happy birthday, Siobhan.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, you
Feels
reminded
kind of
her.
wrong to celebrate right now.
Honestly, if
With
everybody could give her
everything that's
cash, it
happening.
sounds like she could use it.
I would never ask. I would never ask for that. But if anybody has food, I am about to pass out.
Well, that was
Welcome to the club.
IFAC diet.
All right. Nothing else. We're good to get out of here, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it. Siobhan, you and I need to talk.
Cornwood,
Decker,
can we
can I talk
talk,
to you real
please?
Yeah, real quick before
Here
I
you go, man.
pass that. I'm exhausted. Hey, hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Pledge.
Oh, pledge. Okay.
Siobhan, don't leave.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the badass
Amen.
bitches.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state,
Texas.
under God, one and
Texas.
indivisible.
Texas.
Oh. All right, y'all go kick some ass.
Rest in peace, Aziz.
All right, real quick. So I had a situation with Stanley Miller. He was recording at the hospital during the viewing
Okay.
of Aziz.
Okay.
Long story short, I took him to civil court. I took him to small claims court, and I lost because they had ruled that it was a public viewing of a dead body. So he basically filmed a dead body and got away with it.
That's
no
weird.
strings attached. The argument was made that because the hospital is a public facility, he wasn't in the ER, he wasn't in the ICU, there was no locked doors, then it was fine for him to film the dead body. I think what my argument was going for was that the fact that it's a dead body already shows that it's a private event and that there's several people that are requesting it to be private in nature because it is a death. They don't have to say it. They can just know
JQ, thank you for the 2 gifts.
it's a dead body. You probably shouldn't be recording it, right? It's fine. It lost in small claims. I wanted to bring it up to y'all and the council about making that an actual like statute or something, or doing something so that way that doesn't happen ever again. And honestly, just get rid of people recording in the hospital. I think anybody recording in the hospital should be in violation of some civil equity. I understand the First Amendment right, but I still think that's fucked, basically.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and write this down for my for my notes for this week. Thanks for letting me know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy to me.
Yeah, I lost. I lost. Like, luckily, Mr. Willie Glory, who was the judge, did say that he was going to donate some money, $10,000 in cash for the passing of Aziz. So that was nice of him. But he did rule not guilty.
Okay.
It is 6890 is the report. It's a pretty standard report. There's nothing fancy. It's just a picture of him holding the recording device, holding the camera, while the dead body was being, when we lined up on the ramp.
Right.
He recorded that whole thing of the doctor showing the body and bringing it to the morgue elevator.
Okay, I'm writing this down. Filming in the hospital shouldn't be allowed altogether. we had a situation where a Stanley Miller was sitting there recording shit when Aziz Sultan passed away. He was filming a dead body. The issue report, what did we say, 6890?
6890, yes.